Let's do the cockpit setup. So you've powered up the aircraft from dark, and now we are going to set the cockpit up. First thing, let's do the lighting panel. This is going to default, the nav light's going to default to on and logo. The logo is illuminated, but this means not being illuminated here indicates that it's on. So first push is nav and logo. Move it on across, and check your emergency lights and arm them, fasten belt, no smoke, and the cabin lights to auto. I'm going to shut the emergency lights off just so I don't forget them. Alright, let me position the camera down here to see the panel. That's getting everything. Okay. So this is my little technique to make sure that we get the iNav set up and get some critical items on and configured. And basically what this is I'm going to go from this screen to the radios page to the toolbar and up to the HSI, and then back down here, actually to here first, to the, I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing at here if it's low enough. This is the radar controller, and then back over to the CMF AFIS window down here. Then I'll go back up here to the avionics window. So let me do this whole thing for you. So I start up here, iNav data, leave missed approach on, constraints off, fixes, turn off the VOR and the NDB. Next tab over, weather radar, select weather radar / lightning signal sensor, I think it is, LSS, lightning strength sensor, I don't know, and weather radar, click that on. The reason being is that we're going to do the, part of the test is to do the weather radar test, and that'll make sure it's configured and ready to go. Make the move down here, radios page, nav, ADF, auto, SATCOM on, and over here to the HSI toolbar, LSS on, defaults, the SV defaults on, FPL on, weather radar on, then up here, ARC, bring it down to, it says 12.5, which is a 25-mile range. Then back down here now, actually down here, again, down here, radar to standby, because we're going to need to do the weather radar test. So we get that going, and then right back up here. So configure the CMF AFIS page, auto report on, we'll leave auto weather and off, satellite links auto, and then print menu in manual. Then up to the avionics tab, update FMS position. We'll get that in just a second, but first go through the databases to make sure they're all current. And once they're all current, your flight ID is current or correct, hit update FMS, and you will have, if you're outside, you will have a GPS that you can select. Of course, you know this, but since I'm in the hangar and GPS is not receiving, I'm going to use VFI reference waypoint. So give it a position, and then auto speeds, go through and configure these out. These are all standards that are in the SOP. The left seat guy, if he's available, if you come up on the top tube, and do the fuel page first, fuel reset, and then hydraulic page, make sure that your levels are good, and the ECS page, checking your oxygen levels are appropriate. And I do not check the remote button on the passenger temperature control because it won't work until the cabin is fully booted up. Now, it's been a while since I pushed the button, the cabin master button that is, and it did work. But if it was too early, you would get dashes here for the cabin target temperature. The way to maybe do that more efficiently is just to wait to get down here on the checklist, and you get down to the cockpit preparation and get down to oxygen down here. And when you're running that checklist, let that be a little cutie to come back over and make sure that you get this checked. And because it was far enough along that the cabin will definitely have had time to boot up. If the left seater doesn't do this check, then obviously if he's busy doing something else, then it's something that you'll have to do. And anyway, on their way to doing this, those 3 pages to configure those systems, things you would have to do in the checklist anyway, then over to the test page, and you can do the test page. All these flows are something you would do if he was unavailable to you. Also, in this whole morass of configuring, you can set up the charts. I'm not going to go through that because you know how to do that. You know how to do all this, but there's not really any magic flow with that. So that is the process for the flow, at least for getting the cockpit set up for the appropriate displays. iNav displays. Obviously, if the other guy is not here, come over to his side and configure him as well. That's it.